On a beautiful Saturday in Louisville, Kentucky, we welcome you to the NCAA Women's Championship. Presented by Capital One, first round action, day 2, presented by Intuit TurboTax. And it's the 3 seed Louisville and the 14 seed Vermont. And a moment ago, the Catamounts head coach, Elisa Kresge, in her locker room.
Okay, believe in each other. You worked your tail off to get here. You are made for this moment. Let's go, go show everybody what Vermont's made of.
Vermont is here for a second straight season, third time in 4 years in the NCAA tournament. And you see our regional 3 Fort Worth bracket. Alabama, Rhode Island still to come this afternoon, but the 3 seed Cardinals and the 14 seed Catamounts. Wester, I'm delighted to be joined by 2-time national champion Angela Taylor. The bracket was chalk yesterday. Do you see Cinderella out there somewhere, Angela?
Well, this Vermont Catamount team is looking to find that glass slipper right here at the KFC Yum Center. We heard in the sound, they're made for this moment, but they're playing against a really tough Louisville team that's one of the deepest rosters in the tournament with 6 players averaging double figures.
Well, Nicola Prieta, get used to the name, veteran player for Vermont, kind of is the straw that stirs the drink.
For Nicola Prieta, is a versatile post player for the Catamounts who affects the game at both ends of the floor. She can face up and get downhill off the dribble, and on the low block, she's so versatile and mobile with the ball in her hands.
And then Louisville counterpunches, maybe one of their most explosive players off the bench in Amari Berry.
Gardner Marbury is a dynamic player who's taken a huge leap in her sophomore season. The ACC 6th Player of the Year is an explosive scorer. She can get it going from the 3-point line or out in transition, and she is not afraid to take the big shot in the big moments.
Fort Thomas, Kentucky native Jeff Walls, 500 wins, 513 to be exact. He's 15-1 in the first round. He's 32-6 as the higher seed. And he's got his Cardinal team on their home floor with their crowd here at the KFC Yum Center. And a team that won 2 of its last 3 and 6 of its last 9, but is also trying to erase a little bit of disappointment at the ACC Tournament Championship in Duke.
Yeah, they had high hopes going into that ACC tournament, and they had a chance to win. There were some moments that they had to make the play. They didn't make those plays. They want to make good here in the tournament.
Anaya Hardy's a sophomore from Detroit. Nicola Prieta, senior from Latvia. They get us started. And here's McKinley Randolph and the Cardinals to work here on the opening possession. Quick look inside. Hardy the catch. Falls off the rim. And Vermont's lineup brought to you by Capital One. You see Jaden Welts, a transfer who handles the ball here, along with Kira Hansen, Nicola Prieta, Emma Hahn, and Malia Lenz. Entry pass for Prieta got deflected. 12 to shoot. She'll roll into traffic, and Vermont's got the lead and a foul on Louisville.
It's one of the things that Nicola Prieta does so well. She's able to be on the low block, face up, put the ball on the floor, and get past bigger bigs. Nice job finishing with contact against the bigger Hardy. This is what Prieta does so well. She's so confident when she's able to face up to the basket, put the ball on the floor against the big.
Prieta to the line, 67%. The foul was on Hardy. Free throw no good. Istanbuloglu, the rebound for the Cardinals. Taj Roberts and Louisville looking to score early. And a turnover by Louisville in transition, Angela.
We can see Louisville already trying to get the ball inside on the low block early to Hardy, but this Vermont team is swarming defensively early in the ball game. Little token full court pressure.
This is Welts, senior from Ontario, Canada, who transferred from Binghamton.
You don't want to pick up your dribble that far out.
This is Hansen, who's very dangerous behind the line. Quick look inside, catch. Welts missed the layup. Randolph, Siegler, Istanbuloglu. Here is Roberts for 3.
Well, Roberts is so deadly off the pick and roll. If you go behind the screen, she will make you pay. On that play, Kira Hansen went behind the screen and left Roberts wide open for that 3.
First lead of the day for the Cards comes on Taj Roberts' triple. Lenz a quick look. Prieta lost a handle on it. McKinley Randolph with the Vermont turnover. Roberts had it roll off the rim. Lenz gathers.
Louisville's going to want to get out in transition early, push the tempo and pace.
Welch looked for the entry pass. It got kicked away by Randolph. And here in this first quarter, we saw Prieta get an early bucket, and Louisville right back on the glass in the next 3 possessions.
Yeah, and then Vermont's doing a nice job executing offensively. The length on the perimeter defensively from Louisville may bother some of these interior passes.
Prieta squares on Hardy. Right hand fall away. Fell off the rim for Nicola Prieta.
Louisville's leading Prieta one-on-one on the low block and letting Hardy guard her.
Istanbuloglu in traffic. Prieta was there to defend it. And last touch by Louisville.
And that's the Defensive Player of the Year in America East with Prieta. She's a shot blocker. Nice job coming over and help side on the pass. And looks like she went straight up on that play.
And they tried to get it in bounds. Emma Hahn did to Prieta. Got knocked back, but right to Hahn. Hahn on the drive. Hanson a 3. Back rim miss.
Hanson, somebody that the Catamounts want to get going early. She needs to see the ball go through the rim. Good help side.
Double team, Randolph. Kick back, Roberts another 3. Too strong. Sigler the rebound. Turns and shoots, and it's spun out. Hardy the rebound from behind Welch will draw the foul.
We see early on, Vermont is coming over with a quick double team, which means that defensively they're going to have to rotate quickly to bounce out on the weak side. Louisville already going to the offensive glass, getting a couple offensive rebounds early in this ball game.
Anaya Hardy to the line here for Louisville. Sophomore from Detroit, averaging 5 points and 4 rebounds.
When Hardy's added this vertical dimension to the Louisville offense, she's entered the starting lineup after the South Carolina loss and added another dimension, allowing them to run the floor both offensively and defensively. That length and height is an advantage.
Hardy got the back end. It's a 4-2 lead. Here's Hanson. Lisa Kresge telling us yesterday, we need Kira to get going early from behind the line. Here is a steal on a turnover and a layup down the floor. Hardy for another bucket.
You see the length and versatility of Hardy. She's able to get the ball in transition off the steal and finish off the dribble.
Hahn against Ziegler, had it knocked away. She'll recover, held ball, and that's going to go to Vermont on possession. But again, Angela, one of Coach Kresge's concerns, turnovers, especially live ball.
They absolutely have to take care of the ball and cannot generate live ball turnovers because the Louisville squad is going to take advantage of those and turn them into makes. Right now, it feels like a feeding frenzy for this Louisville defense as they're getting a lot of deflections and steals.
Lisa Kresge, America East Coach of the Year twice in her career, 145 wins, Vermont's all-time leader in victories. Hanson on the drive, fell off the front rim, tapped in, Prieta.
See Prieta's activity on the offensive glass. His help side came over, no one's switched over to box out Prieta.
Cards by a basket. Roberts. Sigler at the high post against Hahn. Downstairs, nice pass, Hardy, and a foul. This is either the second on Welts, or the second on Lenz, rather. It's the first on Jaden Welts. It's the second on the Catamounts, and free throws coming again for the Cardinals here. Almost 4 minutes into this opening period of play.
The Cardinals are doing a nice job in their half-court offense of moving the ball, the tempo and the pace, reversing the ball, and looking to post their bigger guards against Vermont smalls.
Anaya Hardy seems kind of primed for this event. She only had one double-figure game against the ACC, and that was a 16.9 rebound effort against Pitt. But her athleticism, Angela, above all else, makes her a factor in this.
Has completely changed the dynamic on both ends of the floor for Louisville. Her ability to block shots on the defensive end and offensively to be able to get up and go get the ball.
Sample there. Hahn the missed 3. Sigler, bounce pass, Istanbuloglu. And a reach-in foul on Vermont. And the foul is on the sophomore Emma Hahn from Zionsville, Indiana. Hahn inserted into the lineup. This is her 25th start because of the injury to Catherine Gilwey that was sustained in December. Lower leg injury for Gilwey. As you see Hardy come out and into the lineup as she gets a word with Jeff Walls. Into the lineup comes Grayson Bugwa, the freshman from Danville, Kentucky, for the first time.
And they just get a little bit bigger and longer on the front court.
Yep.
Quick double team.
Randolph stands for three. Back rim miss. On the rebound for Vermont.
They didn't get the result they wanted, but that was excellent ball movement by the Cardinals.
Welts against Roberts. Out front, standing three. Good. Jane Welts, 48-3 of the year. First triple of the day for the Catamounts. Ties it at 7.
Jaden Welts has done a great job coming over. The transfer from Binghamton has fit right in, stepping into the lead guard position.
Randolph backing down in on Welts. Right hand move and a basket and foul. McKinley Randolph's first bucket. Fourth foul coming on Vermont. Louisville in front 9-7. Under 5 to go in the opening quarter here at the KFC Yum Center. The NCAA Women's Championship is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? The first round is presented by Intuit TurboTax. Now this is taxes.
Play. Raina Scott comes in off the bench from Louisville. Has done a really nice job coming in off the bench, playing with a lot of confidence. Excellent trap in the corner.
Yep. Hanson, Hahn, Hosier, Malia Lenz on the floor. Prieta and Bugwa out front for three. Rebound Siegler. Randolph and a new 20 for the Cards. That's Roberts, who started the game with a three. Little floater with a right hand. And Lenz the rebound. Here's Hanson. Siegler trying to size up Kira. Into the lane, jumper good. First points for senior Kira Hanson.
And that's where Hanson is so good off the dribble. Her mid-range game is where she's the most potent. She gets really comfortable off a 1 or 2 dribble pickup pull-up.
Raina Scott, as Angela mentioned, into the lineup. Jeff Walls has gone to the bench early here. Amari Berry waits at the table for her debut in the NCAA tournament. Another miss by the Cards. Here's Hanson and the Catamounts with a chance to grab the lead. Hahn back out front. Hosier. Bounce pass for Prieta. Skips. Lenz a three for the lead. Rimmed out. Hosier the rebound. Thought about it. Bounce pass taken away. Raina Scott the steal.
Yeah, I would love Hosier to go ahead and take that shot.
There's Scott off the glass. Senior from New York City, transfer from Oklahoma with her first points.
That's what Raina Scott does so well. When she gets downhill, particularly in transition, it's tough to defend. Such a physical rim attacker.
Back to a 3-point lead for the Cardinals.
Louisville really aggressive, hedging that on-ball screen.
Hanson on the drive. Fall away on the spin is good. Here comes Kira Hanson now. Angela for Vermont.
It seemed very familiar this time last year in Raleigh, North Carolina. Kira Hanson came off the bench and was like a microwave getting started offensively.
Vermont to within 1 here in this first quarter. Knocked away by Hanson. Hosier front court with help. Back for Hahn. Hanson wide open for the lead. Got it!
Well, Coach Kresge talked about in the open that we're made for this moment, and the players are playing with a lot of composure after early turnovers have settled down.
2-point lead for the Catamounts. Siegler looking inside. And a travel by Mbugwa will turn it over. Kira Hansen taking the stage.
Kira Hansen is so good off the dribble. She's confident going either to the left or the right, getting to her mid-range game, and there she just creates a lot of space. And then the rotation was just not there by Louisville defensively, leaving Hansen wide open at the three-point line. Once she sees the ball go through the rim, she is a confident shooter.
And now handles the ball for Vermont. Against Taj Roberts, another pull-up jump shot, good.
That is her spot. You cannot allow her to get into that mid-range game. She's able to stop and pop on a dime, and now you see her just playing with a lot of confidence.
Last 9 Vermont points in a 7-0 run belong to the senior from Issaquah High School in Washington. 4-point lead for Vermont. Roberts, kick out for Scott, 3 away. And Lenz comes out of the fray on the run.
Lenz has done a really good job on the defensive glass.
Malia Lenz, too strong. Backside rebound for Amari Berry. Well, if Berry can electrify the Cards, here she goes. It got raked out of there, and last touch by Vermont. It'll stay with Louisville. My goodness, Kira Hansen doing everything, Angela.
Playing with a lot of confidence, and the coaches have talked about when she's able to see the ball go through the net, her confidence rises. She got it going early on, and when you get into that rhythm off the dribble, she's so dangerous.
Istanbuloglu for Scott on the spin, and Raina Scott's off Jeff Walls' bench with a couple of big field goals.
Right, and Coach Walls is so good with their out-of-bounds underneath plays. Great execution.
Vermont by 2. Hosier against Scott. Hahn tried to get it to Prieta. Istanbuloglu playing over the top with the steal. Here's Roberts, Louisville for the lead. And the rebound for Hansen.
Felt like Roberts rushed that shot a little bit. Here offensively for Vermont, you're going to have a chance to get it into the post, but you have to take the right angle to get that bounce pass into the post.
Lenz trying to help with the screen. Doesn't deter Roberts, who played over the top. Hansen, right back for Hosier. Jacqueline on the drive and blocked out of bounds. 6 to shoot, 15 and a half to play here in this opening quarter.
Going to be really difficult to turn the corner and get to the rim against these posts from Louisville.
Six on the shot clock. Lenz on the catch and almost had it bounce in off the top of the glass. The foul will be on Elif Istanbuloglu. It'll be her first. That's just the second foul of the quarter on the Cards. And Malia Lenz, a junior from Chilliwack, British Columbia. Only 3,068 miles from Burlington, Vermont, Angela.
You're feeling right at home here on this court. Been doing all the little things on the offensive glass, defensive glass. And one of the things the coaching staff really wants her to do is be more aggressive offensively. She's taken a couple early threes, like her activities thus far offensively.
Vermont 73% during the regular season, 3rd in the America East at the free throw line, but they're 0 of 2 here early. And 1 for 3 now as a team. Lenz has her first point. The lead is 3. Berry on the drive. Here's Istanbuloglu for 3, and it rattles out. Randolph the rebound, throws it back up and in for 2. 5 now for McKinley Randolph. And Vermont's going to take a first quarter lead. 17-16, the 14th seed Catamounts with the 1-point advantage thanks to senior Kira Hansen, who went on a tear. She scored 9 in the first quarter, including a 7-0 run that put Vermont in front after the first 10 minutes of play.
Hansen coming off the bench last year, kept them in that ball game, and it's no surprise. She holds the all-time career three-point percentage record at the University of Vermont, shooting 42.6% from the three-point line on the season. She's able to get it going from deep, but today that has opened up her mid-range game as well.
You know, we had a chance to talk with Kira and Nicola Prieta yesterday, who both readily admit they've seen this 4-year ride together. They're roommates, great friends, and neither played particularly well or much in their freshman years. And they're grateful for this 4-year experience with Elisa Kresge and her staff to build what has been kind of unprecedented success if you go back almost 30 years in Vermont basketball history. That ball got knocked away.
And loved how Coach Kresge talked about they put in the work in the gym from freshman year on and built this program into what it is today, and they're reaping the rewards.
Hansen trying to split the double team, skips it to the corner. Hosier, quick look for Priya.
One-on-one on the low block. Here's an opportunity.
This is Istanbuloglu. This is tough for Nicola. It got bothered by Elif.
Yeah, Istanbuloglu was just more physical, pushing Prieta off the low block. She didn't have that opportunity.
And the return now to E on the block. She'll turn. Offensive foul. Nicola Prieta able to draw the charge from Istanbuloglu. That's her second. That's the first of the quarter on Jeff Walls in Louisville. And Karen Priato, the referee, visiting with the longtime Cards coach.
It looks like Prieta was holding her ground. That could have gone either way on that play, but it feels like Coach Walls was challenging his squad in that timeout at the quarter break to be much more physical with this Vermont squad.
Hansen for Jacqueline Hosier. Hahn back for Hansen. Prieta again on the block. Nicola, kick out. Kira sets another three. Front rim miss. Lenz an offensive rebound. And Malia Lenz had it rattle out on a second chance.
Again, Lenz is everywhere on the floor today, getting to all those loose balls and boards.
And Berry on the drive. First points for Amari Berry.
And this is what Amari Berry does. She comes in off the bench and heats it up in a hurry. If you do not stop the ball in transition when she has it in her hands, she will get to the rim. Angela
told you at the top, 6th player of the year in the ACC, second team All-Atlantic Coast Conference. Amari Berry, the sophomore from Clarksville, Tennessee, a major weapon for Jeff Walls in Louisville. Cards regain the lead by a point. Hahn stripped of it by Scott. It will stay with Vermont. And another look at Amari Berry.
Yeah, just a nice job in transition by Berry, using a little bit of hesitation move, pace and tempo to get to the rim, freezing the defense, and she just can elevate so well off the dribble.
Istanbuloglu has gone out of the lineup, and Louisville sizes down here, Angela. Out of the corner, there's a three. Side rim miss by Welts, who's returned to the lineup. For Vermont, Berry on the drive, and a blocking call on Jacqueline Hosier. The freshman will draw her first. That's the first of the quarter on Vermont.
Well, now for Louisville, they're going 5 out, no one in, spacing the floor with shooters on the perimeter, hoping to allow Berry, Randolph, Scott to be able to get downhill off the dribble, and that is exactly what Berry was attempting to do. If you're Vermont right now, Louisville's only shooting 14% from the three-point line. Maybe give them a little bit of space at the three-point line to protect those driving lanes. Looks like the officials are deliberating a little bit.
Well, they're deliberating on the call here, and the foul is on Hosier. Somehow or another, it was whistled on Welts. Welts is way off the play.
Yeah, Welts isn't even in play.
This is...
Lenz is a secondary defender.
Yeah, we'll take a break. It's either the first on the freshman Hosier or the second
for the correct fouler on the play.
On Malia Lenz. The NCAA Women's Championship is presented by Capital One. It's brought to you by Coca-Cola. Fan work is thirsty work.
After review, the foul is correct to Vermont's number 1. We'll be shooting 1 shot.
All right, ladies, see you at the break. The foul was awarded after review and a long deliberation to Jacqueline Hosier. which it looked to be what umpire Rich Waters said on the floor. So Barry gets the bucket and the free throw.
And that made free throw allows them to set up this full court.
Here's Welts quickly front court. Vermont trailing 4 now. Cats had the lead after the Hansen run late in the first quarter, but had yet to score here in quarter 2. Lenz. And this is Welts. And a foul on Barry for the reach. First on Amari Barry, second on Jeff Waltz's team here in the second period.
The Cardinals really looking to elevate the defensive effort and intensity, getting out in passing lanes. A little bit too aggressive there by Barry.
And Louisville's lineup sizing down, Angela's had some impact here.
It really has, and right now they're forcing Vermont to initiate their offense so much further out on the floor. Nice job there by Siegler with the run and jump.
Lenz, foul line, Prieta.
Nice
Kick to
out.
Hansen. Here's a 3 that's good. Kira Hansen now with a dozen.
Really impressive offensive execution by Vermont on that play. Prieta showing her versatility, putting the ball on the floor and kicking it out to the open corner.
Vermont to within 1. Under 7 to go in this first half. Scott on the drive with a left hand, deflected out. Hosier the rebound.
Nice job once again by Vermont. Once the ball goes up on the rim, trying to find a player in the body.
And Barry trying to challenge the loose ball off the hand of Hosier, draws her second. So some little things now starting to creep into Louisville's playbook here, and fouls becoming one of them. Barry is the second Cardinal to pick up 2, joining Istanbuloglu.
Well, one of the things that Vermont, their composure and poise right now is on display, and Louisville, the team that's coming in, playing at home, is losing a little bit of their composure as they try to get back into this ball game or build a bigger lead.
Hansen toward the corner. Here's Prieta with 8 to shoot. Nicola working against Hardy, who's returned here in the second quarter. And Nicola Prieta, the old school move for her 3rd field goal.
And Prieta with a big smile on her face as she ran down the floor. That is exactly what you do against a shot blocker. Give them a little subtle shot fake, get her on off the floor, and Hardy, and you have a wide open layup.
Vermont back in front. Prieta's got a half dozen in the first half. Roberts for Louisville, and the lead returns to the Cards.
Roberts has been shooting the ball really well from the 3-point line. Rotation didn't come over.
And a turnover by Vermont in the backcourt.
When you love what you're seeing there from Roberts, you will not only be able to have an impact on the offensive end, but defensively, how can you be disruptive?
Yep. Siegler will put it in play for Coach Walls here. With Scott, Roberts, Hardy, and McKinley Randolph. Taj at distance with 10 to shoot. Prieta on the switch. Back for Randolph, 3 away. And it dropped! Oh my goodness!
The friendly rims here at the KFC Yum Center. And that is what McKinley Randolph does. She makes timely plays.
Louisville's got an assist on back-to-back baskets here. Pushes the lead to 5. And the Cards turn up the half-court pressure defensively. Prieta with 10 to shoot. Rolling into traffic. And score.
Louisville continues to play Prieta one-on-one on the low block, and she's just doing a great job when they're pushing her off that low block of facing up and going by her defender.
And almost turned over by Scott. She recovers against Hansen. Vermont to within 3. Here's Roberts, a step in 2 that's short and knocked out of bounds, and last touched by the Catamounts. McKinley Randolph has got 8 here in this first half, and a moment ago when it looked like Vermont was building momentum. Randolph drops a triple from out on the left, but Nicola Prieta has got 4 of Vermont's 7 here in the second quarter. Cards by 3. Well, here in the Fort Worth Regional, number 3 seed Louisville 27, the 14th seed Vermont 24, and The Catamounts are no stranger to the postseason. Third time in 4 years. They got 27 wins coming in. Third most in program history. You see how good they are defensively? I think some of that's showing up here in this first half. And we've mentioned Nicola Prieta a moment ago when she scored the field goal. Angela became the 5th player in Vermont history to score 600 in a season. But here's the note. She's the first in 26 years to do it. It had been since Carolyn Church in the 99-2000 campaign. And you are a big fan of the way she just stays fundamental, right?
Yeah, Prieta has put the work in the gym, in the offseason to get to where she is today. She does all the little things. Her footwork, her ball movement, her poise and polish on the low block. That's what stands out to me in making her one of those players against a bigger Louisville squad of taking advantage of her footwork and her basketball IQ and getting going here early on in this ball game.
One of the things you're going to hear about in our second game here today at Louisville is belief. Because Tammy Reese of Rhode Island was big on believing, right?
Yes.
Elisa Kresge subscribes to belief. She was more tactical, I thought, in her comments yesterday about what they had to do to give themselves an opportunity to win. But you can start to see that Vermont believes. They know, as she said in their pregame chat, you're made for the moment, I guess.
They're made for the moment, and they put the work in. They understand that they're undersized, that they may not be as athletic or as deep as the Louisville squad, but they are well coached. And in practice yesterday, the attention to detail that these players had to the scouting report is showing up right now on the court.
This quick look for Siegler on the inbounds. Prieta there. Laura the follow-away, and it rims off, and a foul on Malia Lenz, and that's going to be her second.
Well, against this length for Louisville, you really have to do a phenomenal job of getting to your player early and boxing out. Hardy just has a size advantage over most of the post players for it.
Both these teams in the low 40s in terms of their floor shooting here in this first half. Here's Roberts looking for Hardy backdoor. That got punched out of bounds. As coming through was Lenz.
Another nice inbounds play by Louisville. You see the vertical threat that Hardy is, and it looked like just an inadvertent hand to the face by Lenz, and you just see Lenz is so active on the glass.
Roberts out front, Scott. 9 to shoot, and off the ball, Hosier against Siegler.
And that was interesting. If you take a little look at this replay, it looked like Siegler got away with a little bit of a push as Hosier was battling her on the low block, but oftentimes officials see that smaller player in a guard trying to play post position, and it's just one of those things we do not like to do.
So now the Catamounts have 3 players with 2 fouls. Lenz and Hosier both with 2 on the floor. Welts the other. Here's a look inside. Hardy got it blocked by Prieta. Out of bounds, 10 to shoot. It'll stay with the Cards.
And Vermont is one of those teams that does not foul that often on the season, only average 12 fouls a game. But in this particular matchup, it's going to be difficult for them to be aggressive without fouling.
Siegler out front against Lenz. And now an offensive foul on Hardy. Trying to screen to create the 3 for Roberts on Hosier. Anaya Hardy commits her second. She becomes the 3rd Louisville player with 2 at Jeff Walz's roster.
Raining fouls right now, but once again, Louisville coming out of that out of bounds underneath play, getting an open look. Hardy just moved a little bit on that screen.
You have Henia Putra, the freshman from Ukraine, into the lineup now for Louisville. She has not played in their last 2 games. Her last action was at the ACC tournament in Duluth against Syracuse. Did not play in the semifinal or the finals of the conference championship. Here's Hansen against Scott. Prieta trying to help with the screen. Siegler on the switch, and there's a foul on Laura Siegler. From Denmark, the transfer from St. Joe's, her first. That's 5 now in the quarter here on the Ville with 3:53 to play.
Well, Vermont ball handlers being really patient against this defensive pressure that Louisville is imposing on them. And Louisville is just getting a little bit too active and aggressive on those on-ball screens. They need to figure out how they can defend without fouling, because you don't want to send Vermont to the free throw line.
Hansen misses the first one. Coverage of the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship continues today on CBS, TNT, and True TV. For tournament game times and networks, go to ncaa.com. And Hansen, who's a 79% free throw shooter, misses for the 12th and 13th time this year at the line. Opportunity by the boards for Vermont here with 3:40 to go in this first half. Putra. And here is Roberts. Siegler a three. Got it. Laura Siegler. First points of the game, Angela.
Great floor spacing on that play. We had 5 out on offense and great ball movement by Louisville.
6-point lead for the Cardinals, 3:20 to go. Hahn, Lenz from the right corner, that rims off. Rebound for Scott, who wanted a foul call, didn't get it. Siegler, here's Randolph trying to beat Hosier on the block. Lenz trying to help, playing with 2 or both players. 15 to shoot and under 3 to go in the first frame. Putra on the catch with a right hand.
Not much you can do if you're Lenz on that play. Excellent job by Putra getting low block position and nice footwork with a nice turnaround jumper.
Elisa Kresge in Vermont now, trailing 8 after the Louisville run. They've gone 2.5 minutes without a point. Skip for Hansen. Back for Prieta. She'll turn and score. Big basket for Nicola Prieta. 6 in the quarter, 10 in the half. And the Louisville lead is cut to 6. And a timeout taken by Elisa Kresge a moment ago here with 2:23 to play.
Right now defensively, Vermont has been struggling the last few possessions. We have 4 out, 1 in. Putra doing a nice job coming in off the bench, going one-on-one. And this is where Prieta has just been doing a phenomenal job all ball game long. She's either able to do a reverse pivot, face up, put the ball on the floor, go by a big, or doing a nice fadeaway in the middle of the paint, playing with a lot of confidence.
See Elisa Kresge and her Vermont team at the huddle here. Angela, they're not particularly deep. And when you see 3 players with 2 fouls here, I would say for Vermont, how important is it to keep everybody at 2 fouls, right, through the half?
Particularly at the halftime. I would not be surprised if we see either late in this quarter or in the second half more zone from Vermont. They don't like playing zone, but just to protect your players and keep them on the floor.
Yeah, Jeff Walls was thinking he would see zone today, right? Not the way they're shooting it here from the perimeter. Roberts on the drive against Hansen, and that got deflected away. And here are the Catamounts with Hosier on the run out. Prieta against Siegler, looking for some help. Here's Hahn off the screen, a travel before she had the contact with Laura Siegler.
Yeah, Siegler did an excellent job of forcing that turnover on that on-ball screen and the little dribble handoff, really aggressive and hedging that screen.
Elisa Kresge talking to the sophomore Hahn. Put into the lineup 25 games ago after Catherine Gilwell was lost for the season with a foot injury. There's the rim out jump shot from Randolph. Lenz in Vermont into the front court.
Lenz already with her 9th rebound on the ball game, doing a really nice job on the defensive glass.
15 to shoot. Hosier on a handoff for Hahn. Thought about it. Prieta with 11 to shoot. Here's Hansen. Slides baseline. Look at the ball movement here, and Hahn had it knocked away with the shot clock running down. Turned over by Vermont. Siegler into the corner for Roberts. Minute to go in the first half. Putra. Nice look. Siegler another 3. No.
Nice ball movement by Louisville.
Putra with a terrific pass.
She's like, I can get my moment to shine right here. I can do a little bit of something.
Hansen had it knocked away. 14 to shoot. It'll stay with Vermont.
Well, look offensively for Vermont. Like Emma Hahn is going to have to become more of a scorer offensively. She's coming off those screens, and she's not even looking at the basket. You have to be a threat offensively.
Hahn for Hansen, and a foul on Scott. Raina Scott's first. 6 on the Cards. So free throws here for Vermont. And again, Kira Hansen, who missed 2 a moment ago, pretty good free throw shooter.
Shooting the ball really well from the free throw line, 79% on the season.
First team All-America East. This is her 111th career game for Kira Hansen. First free throw of the day. She's got a younger sister, Leah, who sits on this Vermont bench. And Hansen hits them both there.
It's nice when you're so far from home.
There's
that
Leah.
You have a family nearby.
They had a little one-on-one game yesterday after practice. It was fairly competitive for a minute.
I'm sure there were a lot of those in the driveway back in the day.
Makes it easy on the folks, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
15 to shoot. Putra.
One-on-one.
And here's a foul off the ball. I think that's Prieta's first. Nicola, that's 4 on Vermont.
Yeah, Prieta one-on-one on the low block with Putra is doing a great job going block the block, pinning and sealing. Just got a little push in the back with the elbow.
Yevgenia, they're excited about, had not played in the last couple of games for the Cards, but has done nice work here. 18 in the ball game in this first half. Scott to work. Louisville with a 4-point lead. Jeff Walls says, Raina, start the offense. Here is Scott. Pull-up jumper. Back rim miss. Hansen the rebound with 4. She'll break the timeline with 3. Launches with 2. Oh, and it rimmed off at the horn. Kira Hansen going for some dramatics here at the end of the first half. She and Nicola Prieta have 24 of Vermont's 28. Louisville's 3-point shooting, interesting. I like the ratio in the second quarter, Angela. First quarter, a little frosty for the Cards.
Not so much. Got some better 3-point looks here in the second quarter for sure.
Kira Hansen helping Vermont stay within reach of the 3-seed Louisville. We're at the half at the KFC Yum Center. Let's go off to the studio. Here is Christine.
Now, fans, please welcome to the court from Vermont, the UV Intense team.
We get ready to go to our second half here in the Fort Worth Regional. 14-seed Vermont to within 4 of the 3-seed Louisville. And boy, Angela, Kira Hansen and Nicola Prieta, 24 of Vermont's 28 in the first half.
Well, this is a veteran ball club from Vermont, and Prieta and Hansen have taken it upon themselves to step up big time in the first half. They both were extremely aggressive as soon as the tip-off went up and have helped to chip into this Louisville lead.
You see the shot chart. It's part of our slam dunk matchups brought to you by Wendy's. You see this whole setup. Look at Hansen and Prieta inside out. That's an understatement for what they've done.
Yeah, they're not shooting the ball particularly well from the three-point line, only 27%, but they are able to get to their mid-range game and get to the rim right now.
And for Louisville, Randolph and Berry with 13. Amari Berry was a late add, but she starts the floor here, starts on the floor in the second half. She was a late add into the game, being Jeff Walls went to his bench for 3 other players before he finally went and got the ACC's 6th Player of the Year. And here's Emma Hahn in a trap, cutting backdoor Lenz and the layup. Emma Hahn's found Malia Lenz somehow.
Nice patience by Emma Hahn. Under duress, she was still able to see the backdoor cutter in Malia Lenz.
30 seconds into the third period, and Berry a floater. And the rebound for Hansen. Vermont has 4 wins this season when trailing at the half. All 4 wins, though, came when they trailed by 3 or less. Out of the corner, Lenz. 3 is off the line. Hahn, the foul, trying to contest with Randolph.
Vermont's just really done a nice job against the defensive pressure by Louisville. Excellent job by Malia Lenz going back door and using that aggressive Louisville defense against them, getting an easy layup.
By the way, Louisville 24-1 when leading at the half. The only loss a couple of Sundays ago against Duke in the ACC title. Randolph out front against Lenz. Remember, Vermont had 3 players, or 4 players actually, with 2 fouls at the end of the first half. Here's Istanbuloglu. 3 is off the backside. Prieta the rebound. Tried to roll it out, and McKinley Randolph stole it and laid it in. 10 for Randolph on her 4th field goal.
McKinley Randolph doing McKinley Randolph things. She's always at the right place at the right time, making those little plays that help you win ball games.
Cardinal partisans want to walk on Prieta on the catch. No whistle, and Hahn into the front court. Welts has been quiet today, Angela, just the 3 early.
Well, you wonder if the length of the defenders from Louisville have bothered Welts a little bit. Maybe they'll get her going off with some on-ball picks.
Here's Prieta against Barry. Nicola will roll, turn back over the left shoulder, and score. A dozen for Prieta on her 6th field goal.
Prieta continues to be one-on-one on the low block, and she's demonstrating the fact that if you were not going to double her, she is able to score one-on-one at will.
Yep. Vermont to within 2 as Barry stands on the bounce. Quick look, Randolph. Nice pass, Istanbuloglu.
Istanbuloglu with her first points of the game off of an excellent dime by McKinley Randolph. Not surprised that Louisville's looking to go to post their bigger guards.
Back to a 4-point Louisville lead. Hanson against Barry. Hahn. Here's Lenz, 10 to shoot. Hanson trying to measure the screen. 2-pointer on the baseline, and Kira runs her own rebound down. Tried to skip it to Hahn and got deflected by Roberts into the Vermont bench.
Barry didn't finish the play, but she did an excellent job closing out on that pull-up jumper by Hanson, which has been wide open for the majority of this game for Hanson. Nice closeout. Need to finish up with a box out.
Out comes Istanbuloglu, and in comes Raina Scott, who played some valuable first half minutes for Jeff Wall. Almost 3 minutes gone, quarter 3. Welts is calling for the screen. And now he'll have to try and handle Roberts. Lenz a 3, and Malia Lenz can't find one.
Yeah, 0 for 5 from the three-point line, but she has to take those shots.
Barry pushed it up in transition. Siegler the rebound. Quick look, Scott the foul on Prieta, I believe. It is on Nicola Prieta. It'll be her second. It's the second of the quarter on the Catamounts.
Another crucial offensive rebound from Louisville. They're +6 in offensive rebounds, 11 on the ball game thus far. If you're Vermont, you cannot allow these second chance opportunities, as all of the Louisville players are crashing the boards right now.
Raina Scott to the line, 83%. She has 4 points in the ball game. And the free throw is no good off the front of the rim. Louisville is now 4 for 7 at the free throw line today. Cardinals came in 9th in the ACC at 73%. That's 5 now for Scott, and allows the pressure to set for Walls. Quick inbound pass for Welts. Louisville by 5.
Vermont trying that go screen. Try to get an open shooter at the three-point line.
Hanson. Welch squared, didn't pull the trigger, tried to get around Randolph, poked away from behind, lead for Randolph. In transition, McKinley left it in the rim. Second try, no good. Third attempt kicked away. Here's Barry, and now Roberts. As Vermont recovers defensively. Mismatch inside, they get it to Siegler. Out of a double team to Scott. Back for Siegler, the catch and score. 5 for Laura Siegler.
Really unselfish play there. Several opportunities for players to take a shot, but they passed up a good shot to get a great shot.
Seven-point lead for the Cards. Elisa Kresge really wants an offensive set run here. Frustrated her team is not aligned. 6 to shoot with Hanson. Around Randolph. All the way through. Skip for Hahn. Shot clock violation.
Well, credit to this Louisville defense. They've done a nice job on Kira Hanson. She has not had any easy scoring opportunities here in the third quarter. In the first and second quarter, she was able to get to her pull-up jumper wide open in the middle of the key. Right now, they are swarming defensively, are these Louisville Cardinals.
10 turnovers now for Vermont in the ball game. Here's Barry. Sigler to make it double figures, and a back rim miss. And a foul will be called on the deck here on the rebound, and I think Prieta, or
I think on
Welts.
Yep, Welts. On that play, it's really difficult to box out on those long three-point shots, particularly that come off the back iron. And you just notice the Louisville squad is doing an excellent job of just crashing the boards and just trying to get a tip.
Jaden Welts, who was second team America East for Vermont after transferring from Binghamton, where she played 91 games, including 75 starts.
Three-time America East All-Conference team.
And knocked out of bounds, and that'll get us to a timeout. Under 5 to go as Roberts had a 3 spin out. Louisville's got a 7-point lead, and Laura Sigler accounting for some of the work the Cards are doing. Inside on the 4th try. The Cards lead is 7 when we continue. First round action of the NCAA Fort Worth Regional.
If you want to win in March, you need to have players that make winning plays in the ball game. And McKinley Randolph is one of those players. Has 10 points, 8 rebounds on the game. And here in the second half, she has made some critical hustle plays that may not show up in the box score that are leading to this 7-point lead from the Louisville Cardinal. And she's one of those players, like the teammates talk about, she's the best communicator on the team. She does all the little things that may not show up in the box score that you may not get credit for, but is also the connector, the glue to this Louisville ball club.
And the ball got last touched a moment ago, going to the break. So an offensive rebound, and that led to a ball deflected out. Here's Sigler again, and another bucket. Laura Sigler has been the beneficiary. She's got 4 now.
I'll tell
in
you
the
what,
quarter.
If you are a coach and you want some good out-of-bounds plays or after timeout plays, watch the film on Jeff Walls.
Yep.
Another easy bucket coming in out of that out-of-bounds.
Largest lead of the day now for the Cards at 9. Hanson a big 3, spun out, had a great look. Cards kind of dodged one there. Hosier couldn't battle Sigler for the rebound. Cards again can extend. Here goes Scott, and fouled, I believe, Kira Hanson.
After timeouts, ATOs from this Louisville Cardinal team, they are constantly able to get wide open looks. Great execution on that play of getting Sigler coming to the baseline for a wide open jumper, getting her going on the ball game. She's got 7 points on 3 of 7 from the floor.
Yeah, Raina Scott to the line after the first foul of the day on senior Kira Hanson. Scott 1 of 2 earlier in the quarter. Louisville with its largest lead. And the free throw spins out for Scott. Angela, it's one of those things, and I think Elisa Kresge, without knowing exactly what was said in the huddle, she had to know that particular timeout a moment ago. Scott missed them both. Randolph going to make them pay with an offensive rebound.
Again, McKinley Randolph, timely plays consistently.
The Catamounts have to be concerned here. Ahead of 4 minutes to go in Louisville on a 9-0 run.
Yeah, we're relying on 2 players offensively right now, and when you have a double-digit deficit, it's really tough just to rely on those 2 players. Backdoor
Welts fouled by Barry. So Jaden Welts, who hit a 3 early in the game for Vermont, draws the 3rd from Amari Berry. It's the first on the Cards in the quarter.
Malia Lentz off the dribble, beautiful backdoor pass to Welts on that play. That's probably the easiest opportunity Welts has had all night.
Yep.
She is just glad not to have to deal with this defensive pressure when she's on ball.
Welts at the line, the free throw good. She averaged 14 points in the America East tournament. She's got 4 here today.
And with Gilby going down, Welts has brought a lot of leadership and poise at that lead guard position, much needed this season.
Easton Bululu checks back in. The plan for Elisa Kresge in Vermont was to get Catherine Gilby and Jaden Welts together on the floor. You talk about ramping things up. They had a terrific combination of Erickson and Bellavito a year ago on a team that made the NCAA tournament in Raleigh.
And 10 games in, it was going extremely well.
Yep, sure was. And there's Randolph, and McKinley Randolph is putting the cards on her shoulder. 14 now in the game, 6 in the quarter for the sophomore from Los Angeles.
Yeah, almost a double-double. Similar performance that she had in the ACC championship game where she had 17 and 10, already with 14 and 9 on this ball game.
Yep. Welts for Lenz. Hansen pops off the screen, tried to beat Scott on the drive and does. First points of the second half for Kara Hansen.
Hansen so quick off the dribble. Nice job attacking the paint. And help side did not come over.
Stops the Louisville run. Cards have still hit 3 of their last 3 from the floor and leading by 9. Istanbuloglu for Randolph and 1 on the Lenz foul. Malia Lenz third foul. And McKinley Randolph now with 8 in the quarter, 16 in the game.
Watch on this play, the offensive execution was excellent. Get the ball in the high post to Istanbuloglu. An excellent pin and seal by Randolph. You see her versatility. She can spot up from the three-point line, and she can take advantage of her size against smaller guards. So patient on the low block, and just her IQ, her basketball IQ on display here early in the second half.
4th double-double in the last 5 for McKinley Randolph when she grabs her next rebound. And she's been amazing down the stretch in the postseason. She's got 9 rebounds, 17 points, and a couple of free throws. Here's Welch trying to help. Scott and the Cards running with a 12-point lead. Roberts clutched on a 3. Inside, Siegler missed it. Rebound Lenz and a foul on Istanbuloglu.
That was a nice high-low entry pass to Siegler. She just couldn't finish, but an example of how important McKinley Randolph is to the squad. She is the only player that has played every single minute of this ball game. She's played 27 minutes and some change. Doesn't look like she is breathing harder at all. Put in a lot of work in the offseason to get in proper conditioning, and here in her sophomore year, she's pleasing a lot of these Louisville fans.
Jacqueline Hosier out of the lineup, and Mahans come back for Vermont. Welts and the Catamounts trailing by a dozen to the 3rd seed Louisville. Cards have ramped things up at both ends. Here comes a double team. Prieta wide open, skips it right corner, 3 away. No, bounds away for Hahn. That's the 3rd score you got to have, Angela, if you're going to try and bid for the upset.
Had a couple of good looks there. You got to hit those shots. You got to take them and make them.
Istanbuloglu against Prieta. Double team coming, kick out for Roberts. Taj, floater, right hand, pretty shot.
Nice shot by Roberts on that closeout. Just put the ball on the floor, get to the rim with a nice floater. Right now, Louisville has put it on the Vermont squad. Up 14 with just under 2 minutes left here from the KFC Yum Center.
Seasons of 20 or more, 41 NCAA wins, and of course the 4 Final Fours. But here's the other thing, Angela. In the day and age of volatile landscapes and NIL and all those things, he told us yesterday he's proud of the continuity they get. And he said, look, we understand what it takes to get the continuity. He told us yesterday after his practice, he's already got 5 of his major players, McKinley Randolph, Taj Roberts, Istanbuloglu, Amari Berry, and Grace Mbugwa, who we saw earlier. They're already ready to go and sign for 26-27.
Winning is contagious. And if you want to be part of a winning program in front of a huge crowd like you have right here at the KFC Yum Center, it makes a lot of sense why he's able to retain that talent.
And he said, you know, some players want to go for the money, but they don't go for the wins. He said, we're trying to tell you the wins are a big part of this, and boy, Nicola Prieta
is doing everything she can to help this Vermont team try to etch out this win. But Laura Siegler is one of the prime examples, had a great career at St. Joe's and chose to come here to Louisville so she can get to the NCAA tournament and win.
Istanbuloglu against Prieta and scores.
Istanbuloglu has done a nice job here in the second half. Did not have many scoring opportunities in the first half, but was patient, wasn't trying to force anything, and now they're getting the ball to her on the low block.
Minute to go in the 3rd here, and it's a 14-point Louisville lead. Hansen against Scott, step back, that's a 2, and it's short. The rebound for Randolph.
The tough looks is all that Kira Hansen has had here in the second half.
Yep. Randolph. Inside, Istanbululu.
Nice game out there.
Roberts, who's been terrific. Gets the screen. Siegler. Got it. 7 in the quarter.
Like
7 in the quarter for Siegler. 9 in the quarter for Randolph.
And it looked like everyone touched the ball on that play except for Scott.
Lead is 17. Welts and Vermont need a bucket. 5 to play in the quarter. Welts, deep, long three, got to the iron. It'll bound away, and the Cards are going to take a 17-point lead into the final 10 minutes of play. McKinley, Randolph, Laura Siegler from a scoring perspective, and all Cards on defense for Jeff Walls. The 3 seeds got a 17-point lead on upset-minded Vermont when we come back to Louisville. Bring you back to Louisville, day 2 of the NCAA Women's Championship, and look who's here for the first time in 30 years. The Rhode Island Rams in a 6-11 game against Alabama coming up around 2:30 or so on ESPN News. And there is Big Soph, 5'3", Sophia Vital, and in the sunglasses on the right is Brooklyn Gray. And Tammy Reese and the Rams are locked in and ready to go, Angela, against Alabama.
They're ready to go. Looks like they're having some fun, but they are coming in at the 11th seed with some bad intentions against this Alabama squad.
It's going to be interesting to watch the champs of the A-10 who beat George Mason in the final. One of 3 Atlantic 10 teams that made this NCAA Women's Championship.
And the players are bragging about how they travel well, so they'll have a nice crowd from Moody.
Kick out in the corner, another 3. There's McKinley Randolph continuing to lead the parade for Louisville.
And Coach Waltz feels like he's shooting a pretty high clip in his ATOs, coming out, executing, and getting good looks and scores.
Career high now for Randolph with 20. Prieta and Hansen, the combination that's led Vermont all day. Nicola missed close on a bounce pass. And the Cards with Roberts slashing into traffic and score. Taj Roberts now in double figures on her 4th field goal.
Roberts is so good in secondary break. If you do not stop ball at the 3-point line, she has the ability to get downhill quickly.
Catamounts have seen Louisville reach 60. They got outscored 23-10 in the 3rd to create the advantage of 17.
Well, credit this Louisville defense. They were the ones that were the catalyst for this stagnant offense from Vermont.
On the drive, Hosier had it blocked from behind by Siegler, hit the inline, no shot clock violation. Second one we've seen in the second half on Vermont.
The Cardinals are flying around defensively, doing a great job of communicating, switching on screens, getting out in passing lanes, staying in front of the player, the ball handler, not allowing that dribble penetration that we saw in the first half.
22-point lead for Louisville. Randolph inside. Elif Istanbululu couldn't score with a left hand. Prieta. The catch against Istanbululu. Double team coming. Hansen. Look for Welts' 3. Good, Jaden Welts. Both of her field goals are triples. Has 8 in the ball game.
Nice ball movement there. Looked like Hansen had a look, but she passed up a good shot to get a better shot for Welts.
Scott, the Cards, kind of slowing things down here in the possession.
Yeah, taking air out of the ball a little bit.
Roberts for Randolph. Almost had it knocked away. Kick for Scott, and a 3 that's good. 18th triple of the year for Raina Scott.
Right now, this dribble penetration is just creating open looks on the 3-point line for Louisville. 7 for 17 from 3, 41% up from where they were in the first half.
18-point advantage, or 22-point advantage, I should say, at 63-41. Prieta against Randolph. Double teamed and turned over. Here's Roberts with Easton Bololu aside, and she'll score easily. A dozen for Taj Roberts.
We're going to look a lot at this box score and credit the Louisville offense, but they have generated offense from their defensive effort. Louisville up 22, have these fans up out of their feet by the performance. Taj Roberts, McKinley, Randolph, an all-around effort by this Louisville squad. The catalyst at the defensive end. Nice steal from Taj Roberts. 7 minutes left here at the Yum Center in the first round.
NCAA Women's Championship is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? And I mean a spectacular Saturday here in Derby City. Day 2 of the NCAA first round. Presented by Intuit TurboTax. We're in Region 3, Fort Worth. The 3-seed Louisville, led by only 4. At halftime, 32-28. Look at the second half, 61% and 33 points for Jeff Walls' team, Angela.
Well, Louisville only had 4 assists in that first half. Everything was one-on-one. They already have 7 here in the second half. They've been sharing the ball and getting phenomenal looks.
Prieta out front for Hahn. Emma Hahn will shoot and miss. Air ball over the inline, out of bounds. It'll go back to the Cards, and Elisa Kresge not happy at all with the way things have turned here in the second half. Reagan Bender has come in the ball game. She's a redshirt freshman from Sacred Heart here in Louisville. Look at Siegler. Squared up on the baseline. Ball got knocked out of bounds. It'll belong to Vermont. Don't forget, for the 6th consecutive year, every NCAA Women's Championship game is on the networks of ESPN. For more information, go to NCAA.com. McKinley Randolph is out of the lineup. Double-double today for Randolph. 20 points and 11 rebounds.
Yeah, Randolph put her imprint on this game in the third quarter.
Oh, sure did. Here's
Just a sophomore.
That ball got knocked away, and Putra, who gave them some valuable first half minutes when there was a looming piece of foul trouble in the interior for Louisville, gets the rebound. Skip pass. Here's Kara Hansen. Lenz quickly for Welch, shooting for 3 and hitting. Jaden Welch has kind of been left open twice in this fourth quarter and knocked down a pair of threes.
Well, demonstrating that if she does get an open look off of that ball movement, she's more than capable of hitting those threes.
65-44, Amari Berry. Siegler on the floor with Scott, Putra, and Bender, the redshirt freshman.
See, they're working really hard on that low block.
Against Hansen. Skip for Berry. 3 is good. Amari Berry's first triple of the afternoon. Only 6 for Berry, Angela.
It was so nice that you have 9 players that have been on the floor, 10 now, and of those, 8 have already scored. So unselfish is this squad. A lot of fun to watch offensively.
Sure are. Prieta against Siegler. Out front, Hansen left open, squares, and knocks down the 3. Kara Hansen with only 5 in this second half. 19 in the ball game for Hansen.
Louisville did not make it easy for her in the second half. Either she or Nicola Prieta were being doubled, denied the ball. It was extremely difficult here in the second half.
Scott, lob inside on the catch. Putra for Siegler in the bucket.
Nice high-low action there from Putra to Siegler. Excellent job when you get the ball in the high post, and a nice pin and seal from Siegler.
70-47. Lenz tried to go backdoor to Prieta, deflected out of bounds by Siegler with ahead of 4 minutes to go, and here comes Anaya Hardy into the ball game, and she'll get Laura Siegler's spot.
Impressed that even with a 23-point lead, 4 minutes left in this ball game, whatever 5 players are on the floor for Louisville, continue to play hard, continue to execute defensively.
Welts on the inbounds. Here's Hansen. Lenz for 3. Popped out. And Eugenia Putra, the rebound, and the outlet for Barry. And here is Scott and Louisville now on the way to what will be their 28th win of the year. Jeff Walls is looking for his 42nd in 58 NCAA tournament games.
So that's pretty good. Whew. They might continue to stay in the hotel when they're here at home.
Yeah, how about that? Prieta working against Hardy. Jump shot, good. Nicola Prieta's got 16. 70-49. Well, if this is it for Kira Hansen and Nicola Prieta, they have gone out swinging, huh?
They have a lot to be proud of for the Vermont family back in Vermont right now. Those 2 players have laid it all on the line for this program and are the epitome of what Coach Kresge is building.
No question. Right side, here's Bender. And 3 seconds is the call. And that will turn it back over to Vermont. This is Nicola Prieta and Kira Hansen, part of a group of seniors, 4-year players at Vermont, and really epitomize the 7-year, 8-year card that Elisa Kresge and this program have put together. And they got knocked around, recovered by Lenz. That got blocked. And out of bounds, it'll stay with Vermont. You and I both talked to the athletics director of Vermont, Jeff Schulman, before the ball game. So proud not only of the program, and he played at Vermont hockey, came back to work there at Burlington in the early 90s, and of course, Tom Brennan gave him an unbelievable basketball tradition to build on, and John Becker's done a terrific job. They came within a whisker of sending their men's team to the NCAA. And what Elisa Kresge has done in 8 seasons is Hansen knocks in another 3.
Their soccer program.
Oh, yeah, won the national title. Yep.
A lot to be proud of there. And a new president in Dr. Marlene Trump. Has been the president there of Vermont for a year and a huge advocate for sports and women's sports. Will be such a benefit and advocate to this athletic department.
No question. Inside, the miss from Putra, recovered by Lenz with 2 minutes to play now. And Louisville headed to the second round on Monday here at the KFC Yum-Sitter against the winner of Rhode Island and Alabama. It's still to come today in Derby City. Hansen squares for another one. And it bounds away. Might have been a heat check for Kira. Here's Scott front court with 1:40 to go.
Well, and basketball will not be over for either Nicola Prieta or for Kira Hansen. They both talked about wanting to continue to play hoops and follow in the footsteps of some of the former Catamounts.
Yeah. There's the drive and score for Barry. 5 in the quarter, 8 in the ball game for Amari Barry. And a backcourt foul by Raina Scott. Second foul there in the first of the quarter. And our Capital One rewarding performance. Oh, dial up the McKinley Randolph video, Angela.
A special ball game here by McKinley Randolph. 20 points today on 8 of 14 shooting. She was doing it a little bit from all over on a low block from the 3-point line, getting 3-point plays, and doing the little things that led to this victory.
Final minute now for Vermont.
1 minute remaining.
Hansen trying to wrap it to Prieta. Ends up over the inline, out of bounds. Kira Hansen, by the way. And you see McKinley Randolph, our Capital One rewarding performance. Career highs in both points and rebounds for Randolph. And Vermont's going to take these seniors off the floor. Prieta and Hansen. And there's a ball over the inline, out of bounds. And Elisa Kresge gets Hosier off the bench. Leah Hansen checks in. That's Kira's younger sister. Piper Resden has checked in. Devin Yard is also into the lineup for the first time for Vermont. Kira Hansen's going to go to the Vermont bench. She's the second player with multiple 20-point games in an NCAA tournament in Catamount history. And that mark goes back to about 16 years.
Well, in the ultimate respect, the Louisville fans got up off of their seats cheering for those seniors as they went to the bench, knowing that they left it all on the line.
Savannah Creel also in the lineup. She had a shot block there a moment ago with 20 seconds left. And Reagan Bender's going to dribble this out, and Louisville is going to advance to Monday's second-round game against the winner of Rhode Island, Alabama. The Cards beat the Catamounts by a final of 72-52. Louisville is 28-7 on the year. Jeff Walls has now seen his team win 3 of the last 4 and 7 of the last 10. And a nice moment with Nicola Prieta and the Catamounts. Louisville is impressive, and McKinley Randolph outstanding, Angela.
McKinley Randolph really special. One of those players that you know where you're going to get. She's so consistent, going to do all the little things, but also a demonstration of the tremendous depth that this Louisville squad has. And this is one of those ball games. This was not an easy game for Louisville. This will have them ready for the second round. You got a good win, but you also got tested.
The Cards shoot 55% in the second half. They shoot 54% in the fourth quarter, Angela.
When they were getting whatever they wanted, the ball movement from Louisville was phenomenal, so fun to watch. They were sharing the ball, getting nice kickouts, and then the post players did their work on the low block and getting some easy